Plans to leave, throw the keys to little C's, pull a truck up front and roll up the next blunt so we can scheme on our way to the telly, go fill my belly. A T-bone steak, cheese eggs, and Walter's grape. Conversate for a few, cause in a few we gonna do what we came to do, ain't that right, boo? You said true, didn't you? Yeah, you did! There's 96% men on this channel. Didn't you say true? You said What's up, my people? This is ShowBizz the Adult. Let me give this a shot. It's hump day, baby, boy. All right, man, look. Woo! My stomach is still hurt from the surgery. Oops! All right, man, look. All right, so many of my show business partners are hitting me up and asking me, ShowBizz the Adult, I need a detailed breakdown of what's going to happen in the rematch between Andy Ruiz and Anthony Joshua. What's going to happen between Andy Ruiz and Anthony Joshua too? I've heard you, say your final prediction. I've heard you say a few things, but you're skimming over. I want to know breakdown. I want to know details. And I think that's because many of you got money on the fight, don't you? You guys got money on the fight, don't you? That's all right. Let's break it down. In order to break down Andy Ruiz versus Anthony Joshua 2, you cannot look at Andy Ruiz versus Anthony Joshua 1. I mean, you can look at it, but I'm saying I'm going to tell you what to draw from it. But there's many reasons why you can't really look at that fight. Andy Ruiz, 5 weeks, he came in short notice. Anthony Joshua, I believe he was concussed coming into the ring, or at least that's what I've heard. So you can't really take much from that fight. Plus, Anthony Joshua, he didn't have like a 12-round plan for that fight. He was trying to put Andy Ruiz out in sensational fashion because, look here, he was influenced by that Wilder knockout of Brazil. He wanted to trump that. Now he just opened himself up to get knocked out himself. So it's very hard to look at that fight. What you must do is look at Andy Ruiz versus Joseph Parker. That's right, and I think Andy Ruiz deserved the nod. I don't really think that fight was really that close. I think Andy Ruiz actually just beat him. But not too many people knew Andy Ruiz. Everyone knew Joseph Parker. He was the ticket. And Anthony Joshua, you must look at Anthony Joshua versus Joseph Parker when he fought Joseph Parker. Why? Because Joseph Parker was a smaller heavyweight compared to Anthony Joshua. Plus, Joseph Parker, he had fast hands. I mean, he fought slick. I'm not sure how much smaller he is, but what I'm saying is he fight slick. He fight with fast hands. He was using the speed, and that's what Andy Ruiz actually possessed over Anthony Joshua. Now, we both know that Joshua, the guy that they both fought, this was pre-Spider Bite Joshua. Coffee. Who knows how post-Spider Bite Joseph Parker is going to look. Let's talk about it. Andy Ruiz versus Joseph Parker. The first thing you have to do, you have to watch that fight. You can't look at the highlights. You got to look at the fight. But what's going to jump out at you when you look at Andy Ruiz versus Joseph Parker, other than the fact that he deserved a nod, is one thing. Andy Ruiz, he was lighter, he was smaller, he was trimmer, he looked leaner. See, a lot of people look at Andy Ruiz versus Anthony Joshua and say, hey, man, keep that big size on you. Keep that power on you. You had that power. Why would you slim down and be what you weren't? Be what you're not used to being. Be what you are. No, what you don't understand is him versus Anthony Joshua, that's not what he is usually. Yeah, he's a chubby guy. He's a round guy, but he is slimmer than that. See, he only had 5 weeks to prepare. So he was a big doughboy against Anthony Joshua, and that was everybody's first time seeing Andy Ruiz, and they think that's him. No. Look at him versus Joseph Parker. He's slimmer. Look at him versus Joseph Parker. Very great boxer. See, he's a pressure fighter, but he's a pressure fighter in a very efficient way. He doesn't just come in throwing bolos. He come in jabbing. He come in using his hand speed. He come in countering. See, he's pressuring to counter. Kind of like what Canelo Alvarez versus Kovalev. Now, when you look at Andy Ruiz versus Joseph Parker, that's where you're going to notice the similarities. And boxing pugilists, they understand this. But for you casuals, when you say that Kovalev, he didn't sit down on his punches against Canelo, and I said that's because Canelo had him on hand speed and head movement, and he was countering him effectively, and it was discouraging Kovalev from throwing him his hard shots. Now, that's exactly what happened with Joseph Parker. Listen to Joseph Parker versus Andy Ruiz. Around the 5th round, you can hear the commentator saying, I don't like how Joseph Parker isn't sitting on his punches. They said the same thing about Kovalev. They said, I don't like the way Joseph Parker isn't sitting on his punches. Do you think he was throwing a fight? No, he won the fight. Actually, Andy Ruiz may have been robbed. No. What it was Joseph Parker was in there. See, you're outside looking in. You don't understand the life of a boxer. He was in there. And when he sat down to throw punches, those punches were telegraphed. And Andy Ruiz saw those coming. He was pressing forward and he was moving his head slightly left and right. He was being an effective brawler, mauler, hitting him with combinations, but he was a boxer just like Beterbiev. A lot of people look at Beterbiev and see him as a slugger. Yeah, he's a mauler, I guess so. He's a boxer, man. And that's why I tell people the fighters of old are better than the fighters now. I say that constantly. See, when you look at the fighters now, you say, hey, they're big, they're big. Well, Joseph Parker was bigger than Andy Ruiz. What happened? Anthony Joshua was bigger than Andy Ruiz. What happened? How about how many heavyweights are bigger than Usyk? Usyk is about to make some noise. Volsic, he was taller than Beterbiev. He was doing all the high-tech stuff against Beterbiev, throwing his hands real fast, moving to the side. Beterbiev just walked him down, moved his head efficiently, and countered him with big shots. He didn't waste movement. He didn't waste time. And that's what the boxers of old did. Beterbiev, he didn't look like a new futuristic boxer. He looked like a throwback fighter. And that's what Andy Ruiz was doing against Joseph Parker. That's what Canelo Alvarez was doing against Kovalev. And that's what Andy Ruiz is going to do against Anthony Joshua in this rematch. Let's look at Anthony Joshua. When Anthony Joshua fought Joseph Parker, he had the same problems that he had with Andy Ruiz. Look at it. Think about it. Joseph Parker with his great hand speed, his countering ability, his accuracy. So Joseph Parker, he was just on the outside, ready to light up Anthony Joshua. What Anthony Joshua did was stuck with the jab, a strong power jab. Even at the end of the fight, Joseph Parker told the interviewer, he said, a jab, he said, a right hand would take you around the corner. A jab would take you around the world. He was dissing at Deontay Wilder. He was. But Anthony Joshua was beating him with a jab, staying patient, staying away. He didn't knock out Joseph Parker, and that was one of the fights that he just didn't knock out anybody. He was knocking everybody out. It was either KO or TKO, but for Joseph Parker, he played it smart. And that's what I thought he was going to do against Andy Ruiz. If you guys remember, when I was predicting that first fight, I said, man, Andy Ruiz, he doesn't look the part, but don't judge a book by its cover. Judge the book, okay? Judge the content. Like this video, don't judge the title, listen to the content. Andy Ruiz, one hell of a boxer. I thought Anthony Joshua was going to be patient. He didn't. Andy Ruiz is over Anthony Joshua when it comes to hand speed. And we all know Anthony Joshua doesn't have that chin. Now, let's think about this. When it comes to the second fight, this is the big thing that we have to be concerned about. All you bettors out there. Anthony Joshua, he didn't have much of a chin. No, he didn't have much of a chin. But is it cracked? Is his chin done? After that fight with Andy Ruiz, is it finished? Let me tell you a quick little story, and it kind of reminds me of Roy Jones Jr. Everything I compare to Roy Jones Jr. because he was my favorite boxer of all time. Roy Jones Jr. Yeah, people talk about him getting knocked out by Tarver saying he never really had a chin anyway. Bull! He didn't have a chin. He didn't have like a great chin. He didn't have a Holyfield chin. He didn't have a Bernard Hopkins, a Jake LaMotta chin. He didn't have a Rocky Marciano chin. No, but he didn't have the type of chin where a good cool fart in the wind would knock him out. See, it got to a point where if you came behind Roy Jones Jr. and said, hey, Roy, here you go, funky legs. Roy Jones Jr. didn't have that type of chin. It was Tarver's punch that just really broke it. It shot him. When you look at Roy Jones versus Tarver 3, Roy Jones, he was away from the cameras. He was away from the media. He took it back to the old school. And when you saw him in the weigh-in, you ain't seen him in a while. He had a beard hanging down, looking like a Yeti. He was looking like some kind of Bigfoot, some kind of Sasquatch. He had a beard that connected to the hairs on his chest. He was not thinking about being tamed at all, being cute, being pretty at all. He was in that weigh-in, bearded out, and he just had muscles all over the place. And then when they fought, as soon as Tarver touched him good, funky dance. His chin was shot. Anthony Joshua, where is he right now? He's focused. He's not doing all the media hype that he was doing, but that does not mean that his chin isn't cracked. That's why I'm comparing the two, and that's what I'm worried about. Anthony Joshua, he got everything on the line. He is more focused more now than he's ever been, just like Roy Jones. More focused against Tarver, against Roy Tarver 3 than he's ever been, but same result. Here's the thing. If Anthony Joshua's chin isn't cracked, he's going to have to approach that fight against Andy Ruiz the way he approached Joseph Parker. Got to stay away. He got the reach advantage, the height advantage. Just boxing. Stay away. The problem is Andy Ruiz is one hell of a fighter. Why is he slimming down, trimming down? Because he knows he has to catch Joshua. See, a lot of you guys say, hey, man, stay the Pillsbury Doughboy. Have that weight on your punches. It doesn't matter if you can't hit him. I don't care if, think about Tyson Fury versus Deontay Wilder. Deontay Wilder doesn't have to hit you to knock you out. He could just be somewhere in the environment, in the facility. He could just he could hit you off the earlobe to knock you out. But if you can't hit the guy, it really doesn't matter. Being a Pillsbury Doughboy with the power, that really doesn't matter if you can't catch him. Andy Ruiz doing the right thing. He knows he has to catch him. And Andy Ruiz, he's used to going 12. Going 12 is not a problem. If you were to ask me right now, which I'm pretty sure you are, who's going to win that rematch between Andy Ruiz and Anthony Joshua? Coffee. Joseph Parker. Andy Ruiz. Anthony Joshua did not look that comfortable against Andy Ruiz in the first fight. Okay. Granted, all of those outside elements playing a factor. Anthony Joshua not really looking at Andy Ruiz, kind of like underrating him. Okay. Anthony Joshua coming in a little concussed. Okay. But what I'm saying is he didn't look that good against Joseph Parker either. It was a snooze fest. It was a very boring fight. And that's the type of fight he have to fight to beat Andy Ruiz. This is what I'm saying. Anthony Joshua doesn't do well against highly technically skilled fighters with fast hands. I got Andy Ruiz. ShowBizz adult. Boy, this is a high pain day. I mean, for my stomach, I'm in pretty good pain right now, sweating profusely. But comment below. Let me know what you all think. Am I, overrating Andy Ruiz? I'm really not. I'm not thinking about Andy Ruiz, how great he is. I'm just thinking about the matchup. Styles make fights, right? I'm sure you'll understand that. And I'm happy that you sat through the video before making a comment because, hey, look, man, I gave you guys a lot there. I'm out.